Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Monday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. My audio may be a little choppy at the beginning of the show. We now have figured out that both the co-hosts need to start at the same time so that the audio is not bad. As soon as our co-host is in the green room, I'll pop him in this evening. I have another great show planned for your viewing and listening pleasure this evening. It is the last day of November 2020. We've been enduring what is a global pandemic. I hope you and your family had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. We'll talk a little bit about what we all did over the Thanksgiving holiday. As well as tonight on the show, we'll talk about everything from the Soul Train Music Awards, which were last night on BET, to Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. In their boxing match that took place Saturday night. It was a draw, no winner, no loser. Interesting in many ways. We'll also talk about Nate Robinson. And then tomorrow is World AIDS Day. And joining the show is HIV and AIDS trainer Gina Lamar, Auntie Gina is what I call her. And she'll be here tonight to talk to us about sex. We've not talked about sex in a long time. So I'm looking forward to us talking about that tonight. All right, so glad that you guys are all here. I do apologize about the audio. It needs two people to just make it better. So just bear with me just a little bit. I'm still waiting on the co-host to chime in at any particular moment. Illinois public health officials announced today, November 30th, 2020, that we had 6,190 new confirmed cases, and they say confirmed or probable cases now of COVID-19. We had an additional 85 fatalities. This brings the total number of known infections in Illinois now to 726,304 cases, with the statewide death toll now being of 12,278 people since this pandemic has started. Meanwhile, the number of COVID-19 hospitalizations across Illinois has begun to bend downward after a week of sharp, rapid growth. As you guys all know, hospitals all over were inundated with patients. In Morris, Illinois, which is just south of Chicago. Morris is a small town. Their entire hospital was inundated with people that were COVID-19 patients. So that is dropping quite a bit. Since a lot of people did decide to celebrate the Thanksgiving weekend, we're going to find out, did you celebrate? Just a lot of different things. Let me bring in our co-host tonight, businessman, music executive. He is the creative force behind Two Guard Media. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Our co-host, the one and only Mr. Kevin Ross. Hello, brother.
Peace. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, sir. How are you this evening?
I was running a little behind. You know why? Because I had to get my surprise prepared for you. These are my tribute to Art Sims, Art Chat Daddy glasses.
Well, those are nice, Kevin.
I said I'm going to wear these for the first half of our show tonight in tribute to the great man that you are. And hopefully you enjoyed your birthday celebration as well.
Oh, I did. My birthday was wonderful. It was everything that I wanted it to be. I wanted to commune with God, and it gave me the perfect opportunity to do so. I did it COVID-free, thank God. And it allowed me to explore tourism during the pandemic. Like, our people really still traveling, doing things, stuff like that. So, it was a great trip. I'm glad to be back. I am quarantining. As they say, I'm stuck in the house, but it's all good. I'm here to do what I do every night on this show. So glad to have you here tonight.
I did the same thing yesterday, but my pocketbook wouldn't allow me to go anywhere where there was a beach, so I had to do it down in the basement. It was just me and God in the basement with my cricket picture in the background back here. I gotta straighten up my backdrop. There we go. So I had to do it down in the basement. When your pocketbook ain't good, you can't really travel around and do all of that stuff, and no flight attendant friends. So I had to go down to the basement and commune with God yesterday, but I did great. I had a great time.
Okay. All right. As long as you're communing with God, that's all that matters.
Yes,
Kevin, while we were waiting on you to chime into the show tonight, the Illinois public health officials released the latest COVID numbers. We have 6,190 new confirmed or probable, they're saying probable now, cases of COVID-19, and we had 85 additional fatalities. Now, our numbers are still going down, but there's a
Mm-hmm.
big concern with the number of people who travel. Yesterday,
Sure.
2.1 million people went through TSA throughout the United States. So that
Right.
2.1 million is not the normal Sunday Thanksgiving number, but that's quite
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people that were moving around.
Well, some of what I saw when I was watching the news, I saw some clips of some of the airports. When you get to your destination, let's say, right, and you say, I'm going to ignore all of these warnings. I've got COVID fatigue. I got to be with my family. I'm gone. I can almost understand that. I can. Now, I don't recommend it, and I do not recommend it at all, nor do I support it. But I understand it, and there's a difference. But here's the problem: everybody standing in the airport next to each other. That was as big a concern as families gathering together without any type of spacing or distance or masking of any type. You know what I'm saying? That
Right,
was what
right.
concerned me. They showed all the airports and everybody was right on up each other, right up on each other, and that wasn't a good look.
Right, right, right. Well, I don't know. When I did travel, the airline did a great job of spacing people out. None of my flights were full. As I said before, I did midday flights. So, I don't know, but I could imagine the Thanksgiving holiday weekend brings out far more people anyway. I heard people say that their
Right.
flights were full, all of that. So I don't know, Kevin. It makes me wonder: do we take the chance and the risk, and it, because more and more people are now saying that they've tested positive for COVID. I know people who have tested positive for COVID,
Right.
but they've been just fine. They've been asymptomatic, all of that. So I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
It's difficult, Art, because I thus far I haven't contracted it. I know for a fact I was in the car with someone who did, and they let me know right away as soon as they tested positive. They told me right away. So of course I'm like a cat. I jumped up on the ceiling, freaking out because I'm like, oh man, that's the last thing I need. But thus far I've been fine. I was able to go get tested over here in Hyde Park, Howard Brown Health. This is another thing too I wanted to talk about real quick while we're on the subject, Art. Some people may be having trouble getting tested. Now,
Right,
that all depends on your medical coverage, et cetera. Now, this is what I experienced, and we'll run this down real fast. So I called a hospital that was up the street from me. I'm in Hyde Park, so I called, I think, one of the University of Chicago. They said you had to have a referral from your doctor. I said, okay, well, maybe that's just here. So then I called my doctor, who's down at John Stroger. And I called, the general information. I said, hey, I'd like to get a test. Someone near me tested positive, and I'd like to see if I can get a test. Well, you have to have a referral from your doctor. Now, my doctor, I have a great doctor, but she's busy as heck right now. So trying to get
right,
her on the phone and trying to get a referral and trying to that ain't going to happen. So that took me almost a whole day. So finally, I decided to do some Googling. I looked it up and I found Howard Brown Health right over here on 55th, and Lake Park does them for free. So I think we have to be a bit more diligent as media professionals, you and myself, getting information out to people as to where the help is, because the federal
right,
government has done a very poor job so far. Illinois is pretty good, has done a pretty good job from a governmental perspective, but it's really this is what makes this so unique, is that this is about the citizens. This is about us as people in this
right,
country. Can we
right.
come together and help each other? Can we come together and help ourselves? And that's why we need to pass this information around. If you know where you can go get a free test, if anyone's watching right now, post that information on social media. Share whatever information you have. Because, guys, that's the only way we're going to get through this. The savior complex of thinking the government is going to take care of all of it, and a plane landed at O'Hare on Saturday with some vaccine, and we all going to get shot up this week, and we all going to be good. That's not going to happen.
Not
It's
gonna
not going
happen.
to happen. In
Not gonna happen.
My best Donald Trump invitation, it's not going to happen. That's not going
No,
to happen. It will
no,
not
it's not.
happen.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna
It's
happen.
not. So
Yeah, it's
we
not.
have to do this. We have to do this ourselves. We have to take responsibility, and that's what's killing America. and that's what's killing this country is we have to take responsibility, and we're like children. We don't know how to take responsibility for ourselves, and we have to
Right.
do that. That's vital, you know.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Well, makes good sense. I know CoMed Health Center at 43rd and Berkeley, they're offering free testing as well
Okay,
too, and
there
it
you
can either
go.
be drive up or walk up.
Right.
All people have to do is Google and look for free testing in
Right.
their area. But much like yourself, I've been around a couple of people who have tested positive, and I just thank God I am still enduring, doing well, and just like yourself, I'm
Mm-hmm.
okay. So
Yeah.
it is what it is, but make sure you guys get tested and know your status. Kevin, this kind of reminds me of the whole HIV and AIDS epidemic, which was what,
It does.
35, 40 years ago. and
Mm-hmm.
and I, now that everybody is testing positive for COVID, I find it so interesting. Back, being a young Black man back there, if you had AIDS, you were shunned and turned away,
Right.
and all of that. But now with COVID, it seems to be a commonplace almost.
Right. Well, that's because in the beginning it was compared so much to the flu, where the AIDS and HIV virus had a more insidious tone that was given to it, connected with it. If you caught it, you were going to be dead in a week, or if you caught it, you can catch it by someone coughing, or you can catch it by this. And there was so much misinformation, and that's actually very similar to today. A lot of
Right.
misinformation, and that's why now people probably aren't taking this quite as seriously as they could. But this is what I say whenever someone says to me, "Well, look, Kevin, I think this is a government conspiracy, and I don't think that it's really real, and I think they're inflating those numbers." Let me explain something to you guys. I watched Dr. Fauci on Facebook today with Mark Zuckerberg. Whether or not you think you can get it or not is irrelevant. Whether you think somebody next to you can get it or not is irrelevant. We have 260,000 dead Americans. Those are real graves that people have gotten into. And that's not 260,000 elderly people, guys. It's not
Right.
this
Right.
is no longer that we're not this is not that anymore. This is not that game
Right.
anymore. This is not that Julia Roberts conspiracy movie stuff. This
Right.
ain't that anymore. This is for real. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so we have to take it as such, and we have to treat it seriously. And again, I cannot reiterate enough that as citizens, as a culture, even especially people of color, where this is impacting us more than it is impacting anyone else, we have to take this seriously. We have to help each other and support each other through it. And that means these parties without masks ain't happening. That means the stuff that I've been
Brother,
seeing, some of the stuff
They
I've been
just
seeing
they just
ain't
they
cool.
just
It ain't
raided a
cool.
300-person party here in Chicago overnight. I
Hmm.
also get all of the news updates of South Beach, Florida, the southern region of Florida. They had to close a
Sure.
couple of places down. People are just wanting to get out. This COVID fatigue is real. It really
Yeah.
is. And people would say, "Oh, it's not me. It's not us. It's not any of that." But it is turning out to be real.
It's turning out to be real. And if we don't want to end up in the same place next December, we better start getting real about this because that's very viable, even with a vaccine. Because let me tell you, the problem inherent with the vaccine theory is that if we couldn't contain the virus nationally as a unit, meaning the governors in each state and the federal government. If we couldn't get a cohesive testing program together and contact tracing program together, what makes you think, oh, and by the way, there wasn't supposed to be a vaccine until about March or April of next year. So now all of a sudden, boom, we have something that's 70% effective. If you get 7 out of 10
So,
on a test, that ain't bad, but it ain't great.
so Kevin, right. That's my next point I want to bring up to you. 8 months later, we now have a vaccination, and supposedly United Airlines has been so gracious to fly it in, and
Right.
so many people, and it must be kept at a certain temperature. I'm not understanding any of this. And then here's the deal. Would you, Kevin, be first in line to get it? You and I both have pre-existing health conditions. We both have health
Exactly.
conditions that are very critical. But bruh, I don't know if I'm trying to grow a testicle out of the top of my head now. I just don't know if I want a little testy hanging off the top of my head, you know?
I'm not trying to wake up green and screaming and bigger and 10 times bigger like the Hulk. I'm not trying to have none of that stuff happen with me like a Marvel movie. And
Right,
but in all seriousness, here's part of the issue with that. Somebody that I'm dating right now, she's a microbiologist. So she explained it to me. She says that the problem is that this virus is still a virus that mutates. It's changing. It consistently changes its DNA. So when you think you have it figured out, you really don't. So when you put together 70% efficacy, and that was by the way, here's the crazy part of that one trial with Pfizer, right? The first time they injected the person, it was 70% effective. So then they gave them another injection and it became 90% effective. We already got a problem. We
right.
already have an
Well,
issue.
there's a
So,
hell of a
you know,
difference between 70 and 90. Keep that
yeah,
in mind. There's a hell of a difference. Even the curve is different between a 70 and a 90.
70 will not get you into law school. 90 will get you into law school.
Right, right.
70 doesn't get you into the physics program over here at University of Chicago.
Yeah,
90 gets you into the physics program. Okay. So that's kind of what we have to look at. We have to look at the fact that we still haven't, America doesn't do well with enemies that it can't fight, that it can't shoot a gun at, that it can't hurl stuff at. Doesn't do well. And so there's this panic about this is what we're going to do now. We've got it covered. We got it under control. I'm listening to Dr. Fauci. That's my guy. As soon as this whole thing is up, I'm going wherever Fauci going. We gonna party because that's my guy. Fauci said in the beginning of this, and then he said months afterwards, he said we're probably not looking realistically at distribution of a vaccine until the beginning of summer next year, and that means trials. Guess what? The trials they're doing are less than 100 people, and they're not doing them on people with pre-existing conditions. So what does
that's
that
right.
say for me and you? What does that say
That's
for
right.
people of color? What does that say for that? It's just not a good situation. I think America's panicking. I really do. And I think that's going to be a mistake down the line.
Well, that's so funny you would bring that up, Kevin. I was contacted about doing a clinical trial, and
Mm-hmm.
they wanted me for the clinical trial because I was not COVID positive,
Mm-hmm.
but I had an underlying health condition that's in remission. And so they
Right.
said that I would be a perfect candidate. But again, I don't know what you're about to do to me, and what you're about to do to me. Will this bring me out of remission with
Right.
my illness? You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
not necessarily sure if I want to be the guinea pig. Now, don't get me wrong. The check was lovely. It was a lovely check, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if I was necessarily ready to be a guinea pig.
When I was a kid and I was growing up, and me and my boys, we used to hang out. And like most kids at a certain age, you get into some trouble, right? You do stupid stuff, you get into a little trouble. So we used to do a little shoplifting at the local drugstore, go in there, steal some candy, steal some stuff. So we went in one Saturday, and my boys, they went in, and I was scared. I was still standing outside. They said, "Come on, man, this is easy." So we went in the store. It's called Rexall. This is in California. Rexall
Oh,
drugstore.
Rexall, yes.
This is Rexall. So we go into
Look,
Rexall,
they're gonna
right?
be sending you a letter. You owe them
You ain't
millions now.
lying.
Right,
You owe
right.
for that
Yeah,
comic book
yeah,
you stole, right?
yeah. There you
So
go.
well, so we go into the store and they get some. We used to love, man. We used to love these things. Remember Razzles?
Yes.
Okay, so we used to love Razzles and Slurpees, man. That was our thing on Saturday. So my boy goes in and he gets some Razzles and he's looking around, and of course back then they didn't have cameras, so he gets it in his pocket, and he walks up to the counter and he pays for something much less that costs much less. He leave out. Then my other boy, he goes to the counter. He got two things in his pocket, Razzles. Go out. He's good to go. So I do my thing and I go up to the counter, and the person, the I'll never forget this. The older guy behind the counter, he owned the store, and he looked at me and he said, "Take that out your pocket." And I said, "Huh?" And he said, "Take that out your pocket and get out of here." And he said, and here, I'm going to give you this for free. Don't ever come back in here again. I'm the guy that always has the worst luck. So it would be
Right.
just my luck to test some vaccine. And I cheated death. God lifted me from death 5 years ago, and it would be just my luck
Right. That you kill
to
over
be
in that.
gone, to
Right.
be gone. So
Right.
I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to still wear my mask. I'm going to still do my sanitizer. I'm still going to do all my stuff until I know it's good.
That's right. That's right. We want to remind everybody. Come on, Kevin. Let's do the demo because you got us rolling before we get into this other news. We want to remind everyone to please wear your mask. Please
Yep.
put your
Hold on.
mask on. Put your
I be
mask
I
on.
I be doing a fashion show with my mask now. I got
I
about
do too. I do
30
too.
of them now.
Yeah, see mine? Yeah, I do too. I love wearing my mask. You see, I had this is my favorite mask I have. Icon.
Okay, see that there you have
Yeah,
it. Let me
yeah.
try to see what I
Wear,
got
wear,
down here.
wear your mask. Sanitize. Remember, keep your hands clean. Soap and water is the best thing you can do. If you don't have soap and water, get you some hand sanitizer. Clean those hands really well. Very good. Stay clean. Do the right thing.
20
Also,
seconds or more. 20
20
seconds or
seconds or
more.
more. Right. Social distance. Stay at least 6 feet away from people. People want to hug and grab me. I know they do. I'm sorry, you guys, but social distance is what we have to do. And if you're
Ain't
not
personal.
feeling well, keep your ass at home. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely. It ain't personal. I was in
Yeah.
Walmart the other day at the little meat counter because last week was my cheat week, because I knew I was gonna act a fool at Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So I pretty much ate everything that was shown to me, that was put in front of me. So I was at the meat counter at Walmart. There's an older lady behind the counter, and I could hear her mumbling, but I couldn't hear what she was saying. So finally, I said, "Hey, ma'am, I'm sorry, are you speaking to me?" She says, "Yes, could you please step back from that window? Because I'm all up on the window looking, okay, I'll take some smoked ham and I'll take some turkey. She said, could you please step back from this window, sir? Man, I could have hugged that woman. I love her for that. I love
Right.
her for trying to enforce those things because that's the only way we're going to be able to get through this, guys. Real
Right.
talk.
Right. Right. Keep your ass away from the window, sir. Back
Man,
up.
stop
Right.
breathing on windows,
Right.
man. We
Right.
ain't going to get nowhere with you breathing on the window.
Well, with that being said, Michael Osterholm, who is a coronavirus advisor for
What up, Mike?
President-elect Joe Biden, he is
Okay.
saying that if we shut down businesses and pay people for 4 to 6 weeks of lost wages, it could help with the coronavirus pandemic. Make this a national thing. Make sure everybody is wearing their mask. Just tell everybody to stay in the house, much like it was in the beginning, and
Right.
compensate people. This is what they're looking to do. I'm all
Right.
for it. Hell, I've been in the house all of this time. Why would I change anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I watched the press conference today from my home state of California with Gavin Newsom, the governor
Yes,
out there. Gavin, they
yes.
call him choke me, squeeze me, Gavin. We'll talk about Gavin his little dally a little later.
Oh, I
Uh, but
love it.
but Gavin was saying the same thing. Basically, they understand the importance of small businesses. They understand the importance of being able to provide aid for these. So they're looking to release about $10 billion out there in order to be able to allow businesses to float. If there's any money that they owe, they're able to float for 3 months and they're going to get a check sent directly to them or given directly to them. They can use that check to float until for the next 3 months or so. Those are the
Nice.
types of things that have to happen. The unfortunate part of this, though, is, and again, I have to reiterate this, is that if we had handled this as a nation, if we'd have handled this better in the beginning, we never
Mhm.
would have wasted that first round of Paycheck Protection Plan money, the small business dollars. We never would have wasted that money if we'd have done this as a community and adhered to the restrictions and adhered to what was necessary. So basically, that first round, and then you had restaurants and businesses that made the adjustments, the health adjustments with the plexiglass and the separation. They spent money on their restaurants only to be closed down again. So
Right,
basically, what we did was waste all of that from the beginning. We back at square one. That's
right.
pretty much what it is.
Right. You know, the one thing that I noticed about South Florida is that they did not have to worry about closing down restaurants. Major restaurant chains
Right.
brought their establishments to the parking lots of wherever they were, and people were still able to dine, eat, enjoy
Right.
themselves. I feel so sorry for restaurant and bar owners here in Chicago because our weather is not right. Like a night like
Yeah.
tonight, dude, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to sit under no damn tent with no space heater and fur blanket and all. No, no,
You
no.
say ain't no. You say ain't no outdoor
No,
igloo good enough, huh?
no, I think all of that is cute and quaint, and I'll have a couple of cocktails with you, but I'm not trying to come and enjoy some braised pot roast and all of that sitting in some damn tent out in the cold, and I'm sitting there with my coat on. When I dine, I want to be comfortable and luxuriate in the meal and the atmosphere and all of that. So no, I'm not into that. No.
Hey, Asiatic black man did not include Eskimos. Okay, when you
Yes.
when you study our culture, and we came from we're Asia and Africa, that did not mean
No.
Alaska.
No.
So
No. It did
ain't
not.
that ain't, and I'm okay if they tell me, Kevin, you can't claim that part of the Asiatic black man. You right, because I do not like being cold.
Yes, no, me neither. Me neither. Okay, all right. Well, with that being said, we are exactly 50 some days away from the inauguration of President elect Joe Biden and Vice
Right?
President elect Kamala Harris. And so this year or next year in 2021, a lot of people I saw on social media were making their reservations to fly to DC and booking hotel rooms and all of that. Well, honey, y'all might as well get a refund. The
Yep.
inauguration is going to be virtual. It's not
Yep.
going to be a physical in-person inauguration. If it
That's right.
is, it's only the president, immediate family, people that have been cleared to be there. So it won't be the thousands of people in the streets like we thought it would be. What do you think
Mm-mm.
about that?
I think that's great. I also think it's very much in keeping with Joe Biden's behavior regarding this as he has been campaigning, which is to do virtual rallies, which is to have social distancing, which is to observe safety measures, public health measures, and to emphasize those public health measures by example, not just by talking or speaking an expectation. So I think this is very much in keeping with who he is. I think it's a great move. I think it's very smart. I'm pretty sure you and I are going to talk about the Soul Train Awards a little bit later in the show, but I
Yes,
watched the
yes,
show. That was a great virtual presentation. I'm seeing a lot of good virtual presentations.
yes.
My company had the opportunity earlier this year to work with the Jewish JCUA, which is the Jewish Coalition of Urban Affairs, and
Okay.
they had a nice virtual ceremony, and I was able to provide a singer for that, and we recorded her segment, and everything came off great. I watched the Midwest Emmys last week, virtual, look good. I mean, hey, folks, let's get used to that because that's kind of where we're going to be. And so I can't see the inauguration being any different than the Democratic or Republican national conventions in
I
terms of their
can't either.
format.
Right, exactly. Very good. Yep, great entertainment. You'll be able to watch it from your home. You won't have to leave home, any of that. So listen, President-elect Joe Biden has announced the launch of his inauguration website. It is bideninaugural.org. Again, it's bideninaugural.org. The Twitter handle is at Biden Inaugural. There, you'll find out all the information about what they have planned, the activities, how you can get involved. All of that is there, and it's very easy for you guys to be a part of it. Now, in past years, the former president comes to the inauguration and
Right.
kind of passes the baton on. Former President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama was there to pass the torch on to now current President Trump and Melania Trump. Kevin, I got a feeling Gangster Lean ain't coming. Gangster Lean won't even concede. He was like, it might be 6 months from now before I finally concede, and that's a damn
Look,
shame.
he's already said that they are planning an event on the same day.
Isn't that
They've
crazy?
already they've already said that. So we can pretty much expect Richie Rich, the spoiled child. We can pretty much expect that that's what's going to happen. And again, it's in keeping with who he is. It's in keeping with how he's shown himself to be. It's in keeping with his behavior. So not a shock, guys. Let's not clutch our pearls. Hey, let's just move on from the situation.
Right, it is. All right, we're expecting our new president. It is officially winter in Chicago. It may not, well, it's actually meteorological winter starts tomorrow, which is December 1st. The actual solstice winter starts December 21st. But as of tomorrow, the Chicago parking ban rules are in effect. From 3 a.m. to 7 a.m., from December 1st to April 1st, you cannot park on certain streets. So for many of you all in the Chicagoland area tonight, if you park out on the streets and if you are on a boulevard, an avenue, a major thoroughfare, make sure you read all the signs so that tomorrow you don't come out and your car is not there in the morning. You know it happens every year, Kevin.
Absolutely.
Have you ever been a victim of it?
No, I think when it was happening for me, I was living in Oak Park, and I just didn't pay the tickets. So of course they mounted up, and so when I went to do something else, the tickets came and say, "Hey, what's up, man? Remember me?" And so I wouldn't move my car during the snow days, but the tickets caught up with me as I had to deal with the Department of Revenue and all that crazy stuff. That's something y'all don't want, trust me, especially this year, because the Department of Revenue may not even be open the way it used to be when that line was out the door. They're not doing that this year, players. So please, by all means, as Chad Daddy said, move your vehicle, dress warm, because this year, more than any year, remember when people used to cough and sneeze and you would just say Gesundheit?
God bless
and now
you.
people now people sneeze, we say, hey, what's up? Hey, what up? What's up?
Yes.
Well, hey, So please dress warm, wrap yourself up. You still gonna have to wear the mask. I don't care how cold it gets. We still gotta wear that. We still gotta wash our hands. Even if we wear gloves, we still gotta do all those things, guys. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Right. I agree. Okay.
I'm tired of not being able to go to networking events and see my friends and see people. You know me, Art. I'm a people person.
I know, Kevin. Look, as long as I can get to some peace and solitude, I don't have to have all the people around me. I can amuse my own self. I can do everything that's necessarily needed to keep myself going. I understand that you thrive on other people.
Yeah, I'm a people person. I'm a contact person. Matter of fact, I used to love walking into the events, with my Puff Daddy, with the whole Puff Daddy, what's up, 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 hey man, hey, what's up, hey, what's up, sister? That used to be what I like to do. Unfortunately, we can't do that, so that's where we are.
All right. Well, moving on to our next topic of the evening. This past Saturday night, we had the honor and pleasure of watching two uncles duke it out in the ring. Former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson had a fight against Roy Jones Jr., and the fight ended in a draw. And the controversy now is that Mike Tyson has revealed that he smoked some weed before the fight and he smoked some weed after the fight. And I did not pay to see the fight. I kind of watched it illegally, bootleg. I kind of looked at other people's posts and things like that. But Kevin, it was just two old men duking it out, and one of them was high as hell. That's why he kept it. It was a good fight. Now, Mike Tyson was knocking at him, no, but it was just too much.
Art, you're my brother. You're my friend.
Yes.
Let me tell you what a god darn shame that was yesterday. That was terrible. Okay. Now, the first problem is this: when you have a match where there's nothing really at stake, how much can you really, A, as a spectator, respect and enjoy it, and B, as a fighter, really give your best? Because neither one of them, see, Mike looked good, But Mike, in terms of his body and his both of them look decent. Like me, like after about 3 months of dieting, I can kind of get to that. But after a year of dieting, I would look a lot better. It looked like both of them only did about 3 or 4 months of dieting, about 2, 3 months of training. And it just didn't seem to me like it was something that you would take seriously. And the one thing I will say, I don't want to be negative, is that the proceeds went to charity. So I'm
Amen.
gonna say, I'm gonna give Mike that. Here's the funny part though. So Mike says that he was going to utilize that as the beginning to a platform that he's launching called the Legends Only League. Now, if you break down Legends Only League, what do you get? LOL. Now, I'm just going to leave that there for everybody to just pay attention to. You just get LOL, Legends Only League. But he's
Right.
using that as a springboard to start a league that will have things like that, exhibitions, maybe some 2-on-2 basketball, stuff like that with just legends. So that was just an interesting fact that I found about it. But I just thought it was crazy, man. I just think that we in COVID, we gonna take anything. We gonna put, we would take two mice and put them in a shoebox and watch them do anything at this point.
You know what? I don't know. You're a hot mess. I think that's what it
we
is. We just
man,
need
take
entertainment.
we take two mice and put them in a shoebox and throw some peanuts down in there and watch them go to work. We desperate right now.
Oh my God. Well, as I said before, it reminded me of just two uncles in the back at the barbecue, uh,
Right.
getting ready to duke it out. And to me, it just was two middle-aged dudes looking like they wrestling each other. So that was a whole nother thing that I had going on in my head. But as far as, the fight itself, like I told you, because how much did people pay to watch it? Like $50?
I think it was like $50. And like yourself, I just happened to log on to Instagram, and a couple of people had it on Instagram live. And so I caught like kind of the last half of it or whatever. So, that was that situation. But yeah, it's about $50. I mean, hey, if you can afford it in these times, in these economic times, God bless you.
Well, now,
I could think of something better to do with my $50.
oh, you and me both. Now let's talk about this whole Nate Robinson thing. Because, Roy Jones Jr. was one thing, but Nate Robinson I mean, he is the king of all the memes now. Everybody is talking about what happened with him. Former basketball player, now turned boxer, I guess.
Right. So the thing about Nate is Nate has always been he's a little guy for basketball, right? So he was
Five nine.
very
He's only
undersized.
five
He's
nine.
only 5'9", so he's
Five
always been a
nine.
bit of a talker. So Nate pretty much got knocked out last night by like somebody who's been waiting to knock Nate out since he was in the NBA, because that was a legitimate knockout. The way he would, as a matter of fact, it is no longer night night art. I'm going to sleep. Is Nate. I'm going to sleep. Nate.
Night
Nate,
night.
Nate,
Night night.
Nate,
Night
Nate.
night.
Yeah,
Right. Night
yeah.
night.
So that's that kind of knockout. They watched him talk during his career in the NBA. He was a little trash talker, and so this was kind of his comeuppance. Let's put it that way.
Well, Nate got his ass spanked, and that's all I know. He got put out. He got put
Right.
out. All right.
Done.
So Mike Tyson to me seemed as if he was about 100 pounds overweight.
Yep.
And this is what you were talking about with the diet. I still thought he looked great, but that's a whole nother
Right.
thing. Mike Tyson is big into the marijuana business now, so I'm not
Mm-hmm.
surprised about him. I'm sure he probably supplied all of the goodie bags and all of the extracurricular accoutrements for the fight
Right.
and anybody
Right.
that wanted it. So I'm not surprised about the marijuana thing. Now, Snoop Dogg was the best out of all of this because Snoop Dogg's commentary was just off the chain. Did you hear any of it or see
I,
any of it?
I, of course, that I used to work with Snoop when I was over at Capitol Records, so
That's right.
I have directly, I've directly had. Let's just say that I've directly had the experience of working with Snoop and being in an enclosed space, shall we say.
Yes.
So the whole thing about Snoop, that's not a shock, that's not a surprise. Doing that. He's actually done that before. A lot of people don't know. He's kind of sat in on some NBA things and commentated and things of that nature for the Laker games. So this wasn't really new for him.
Well, now, to my understanding, he ended up being the entertainment, the commentator, and then even the man with the overall just crazy, wonderful comments the entire evening.
Right, because Lil Wayne could not make it at the last minute. I guess he was crying over Trump's election loss or whatever the case may be. So Lil Wayne backed out at the last minute.
I'm so mad at Lil Wayne. I don't know what to do. I love Lil Wayne. A lot of Lil Wayne songs, I sit and listen to him. And a lot of the things that he's saying in his songs are just incredible. But
He's clever. He's clever.
I just couldn't believe how he would support Donald Trump. I don't get that. I don't understand where that comes from. But I think because a lot of them have been so poor for so long, they think anything that is a resemblance of success is what they want to mirror themselves after,
Well, again, and I'll say this as many times as anyone will listen to it. When I speak with I study weekly now with some philosophers and some spiritual advisors, and we talk about the culture and we talk about our culture specifically. And we really, man, if one of these times I'd like to do a show. You've had some really, really, and by the way, I got to compliment you, man. These last few weeks, man, your shows have been killing.
Thank you, sir.
I am not lying. And I don't know if you noticed, but I have been sharing them. Even if I'm not on them, even if I'm not the guest host, I still share it. I'm still mad. I'm still mad about Carl Weathers. I'm still mad about that you for that one. But I'm okay.
He coming back. Yeah. I promise you that. I got
it's like
celebrities.
It's just right after you had him on. Then I was watching The Mandalorian, and there he was again. I'm just like, this is just unfair.
Well, did you hear about the heat he had recently, where he was the director of the scene where the guy, the stagehand, was in the background?
Right. The guy in the jeans.
Yeah, I'm like, that does nothing but help our boy in his success. Congratulations.
Hey, man, all I know is that's my guy. Apollo Creed goes down in history as one of the greatest quote unquote heavyweights of all time. Carl Weathers brought him to life. And Carl Weathers has had a great acting career. He's one of the guys I just absolutely love and admire. But going back to what I was saying, when we look at our culture as African Americans, we really have to look at the damage that's been done to us and the damage that's been done to our perceptions and our priorities and what we think our priorities are, what we think is important, what is important to us, what's not important enough to us. I've been really having real conversations about that. And when you deconstruct an entire race and don't give them any identity or anything to hope for, anything to reach for, or when we do reach, then it gets knocked down, it gets slapped away, it gets ignored. After a while, you don't understand priorities. You don't understand what's expected of you. You don't understand how great you really are. You don't understand what you come from, the greatness of Egypt, the greatness of Asia, the greatness of being the cradle of civilization. If you don't understand those things, you don't understand priorities. So Wayne and 50 Cent and all these guys, they think having money is the answer to all of this stuff. And it's really not. It's really unfortunate. But, that's why we have to continue to work to educate each other as a people and as a culture, and especially people like you and myself who are of age and experience. We have to still convey this to the people that are coming up.
Right. I agree. I'm with you wholeheartedly, and you're absolutely right about that. All right. Well, with that being said, let's move on over to the Soul Train Awards, which took place last night. The Soul Train Awards were hosted by besties Tashina Campbell and Tisha Campbell and Tashina Arnold. Both of the Martin fame. We just love and adore them. Last night, it was a star-studded event. Chris Brown dominated with the wins in 4 different categories, including Best R&B Soul Male Artist. He shared the honor of Song of the Year, Best Dance Performance, Best Collaboration with the Young Thugs for Go Crazy. and Chris Brown is still dominating it. How old is he now?
Chris should be pretty much. He should be 30, like early 30s, I would say.
Oh boy, he got a lot of more years in him. Oh boy,
Yeah, yeah, he does.
what I wouldn't do to be 30 again.
Oh man, what I wouldn't do if I was 30 again. Oh, hell, watch out. But yeah, it was a great show. I thought Brandy did well. I really liked
I
Ella
did
May.
too.
I was
Yes,
impressed with Ella May. Ordinarily,
yes,
she doesn't. A lot of these new artists don't do it for me, and I have no shame in saying that. I'm not a big
right.
fan of a lot of them, but I'm beginning to like a Khalid, and Ella
Yes,
May did
yes,
a really good job. I liked her look. I liked
yes,
her performance. That was more of what we're accustomed to seeing. You and I, veterans who have seen everybody from Anita to
yes.
Mickey Howard to Tamia. Those are the kinds of things that I'm looking for in a performance, and I saw that in Ella May. Of course, Brandy. You can't really go wrong. But the highlight was my man DJ Cassidy and Pass the Mic.
Yes, yes, it was.
Man,
Yes,
that
yes.
was bananas. If you
Matter of
did not
fact,
see it, guys, you got to go to YouTube and check it
yes,
out.
because this is number four, and I'm actually going to review all of them tonight. But this was
Okay.
number four. He's done three others, and last night was just when he started off with Jody Watley. I just thought I was going to lose my mind, and
Man.
to see all of those people was just phenomenal. Jody Watley, Morris Day, Sheila
Mm-hmm.
E. Uh,
Absolutely.
just I mean,
I'm a
just
I'm a I'm a I'm a big Shannon guy. I'm probably the only black dude that likes let the music play
I
by
love
Shannon.
Shannon. I love
I
Shannon.
love
Yes.
that song. I was so excited to see Shannon come on the screen and do "Let the Music Play."
Let
I
the
thought that was
music
outstanding.
play. Right. I
Yeah,
love
she
Shannon.
jammed. And Lisa and I were friends back when I was in radio.
Oh,
Lisa and I from Cult Jam, we were pretty good friends, and it was good to see Lisa again doing her thing. So yeah, it was good. I thought the show was great.
yeah. I thought it was excellent last night. Other performances featured Babyface, CeeLo Green. I have a thing for CeeLo Green because CeeLo Green is the only man I know that can wear an orange leather suit and have his belly out in the orange leather suit
And
and
still
and
get away with it.
and give zero you know what's. You understand
Zero
me?
pushback.
I
Zero
I
pushback.
love me some CeeLo Green. Every time I'm around
Absolutely.
him, I just love him. I just do. I think he is just amazing.
I have a saying. See no evil, hear no evil.
I love
when he wear
CeeLo. I
when he
love him.
wear them suits, see no
I just
evil, hear no evil.
I just love it. I just, ooh, that's a whole nother thing. Well, other performers in the Soul Train Music Award last night included Charlie Wilson, Jasmine Sullivan, Monica, Smokey Robinson, who looked amazing. Smokey Robinson
Right,
always looks so great. He does. To be
right.
80 years old, and he looks better than most of those other dudes.
Man, funny too. Got to shout out one of my mentors who turned 91 yesterday, and that would be the one and only Barry Gordy.
Yes.
Turned 91. He's still with us. Thank God. Was the creator of one of the greatest movements in music ever culturally.
Motown,
So shout out.
Motown.
So there's a so I gotta there's a I'm gonna give us both an assignment, and so the next time you have me on, hopefully we'll have an answer for this. I'm gonna reach out to Smokey. I want you to reach out to Charlie, and we go find out what kind of vitamins they taking or what they drinking or whatever the case may. Because I'm trying to look like this for the next 30 years. I don't know about you. I'm 57, so I'm
Well,
trying to keep this going.
I think a few of them may have had a few little nips and tucks.
Okay,
I think they might be, drinking some of the good juice. I don't know. We'll find out. So, to my LA publicist, I need to find out the
right.
male grooming secrets of who do we say? Charlie Wilson,
And Smokey Robinson.
Smokey
We're gonna figure that
Robinson.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it was somebody. Oh, and Barry Gordy too, because he looks,
yeah. He looks
right.
good too. Barry's still happening. I don't know how Smokey is. I don't know how Charlie's doing it, but his skin is like a Hershey bar. Like
Yeah,
like ain't nothing wrong. And guess what? That wasn't just television. Okay, I've seen Charlie in person. I met Charlie. Took a picture with. That's really him. He really, after the struggles that he had, he
Yes.
really decided that he was going to take care of himself. And you and I are joking around, but at the end of the day, both he and Smokey had had some difficulties with drugs and alcohol, and
Yeah.
they made a decision that they wanted to live. And so now you see the results of that. They look great. Now, when you look at Mick Jagger, that ain't the same situation. You got a little
Mick
bit different situation.
Mick Jagger looked like an old Louis Vuitton bag. So I'm just
Look,
saying, still a timeless classic,
Mick,
still a timeless classic, but worn,
It's one of
but
those.
worn.
Mick
Right.
look like a paper towel after you done clean the glass. Okay, and Mick ain't got it popping off. But
Oh my God.
seriously, those two guys are an example of taking control of your life when you
Yes.
could have ended it, when things could have gone the wrong way, and they both look fantastic. And God bless them both. God
Yes,
bless them both.
absolutely. All right, Kevin. What else you got in gossip and entertainment you want to talk about? What's been going on in your world lately? Do we need to, I heard you say you dating a scientist. Did I hear that?
Yeah, she's actually a microbiologist, and she works
Oh,
here, University of Chicago. And I want to send
oh,
without saying names, I don't want
right.
to get into
Yeah,
that yet. But
yeah.
I want to send a shout out to her because she's been on the front lines since this whole COVID thing started, and she was
Mhm.
doing double duty between Northwestern and University of Chicago. So great young lady. I want to send a shout out to her for her work and her dedication during this
Yes,
crisis. Yeah,
yes.
she's done a great job. So the one thing that something got me today, and it came across right after I talked to you this morning. So you probably have it on our list of things to talk about. Felicity Huffman,
Yes.
who was convicted of cheating to get her daughters into school, was found guilty and convicted, did 2 months, and they say she was freaking out over those 2 months. She's out, and she has a show, a pilot that she is shooting for ABC television. Now, let me say something here. I remember when Isaiah Washington made some very disparaging comments uh, about being gay and his gay co-star on Grey's Anatomy. He
Yes.
was never heard. He was on the back of a milk carton within 2 weeks.
Yes, he
He was
was.
never. He was fired. He was never heard from again. He was
Yes.
gone. He couldn't get work for a while. He couldn't get any work of any kind. He was pretty much blackballed. Meanwhile, Felicity Huffman has a pilot on ABC, which is now becoming the network of felons. Because if you look at the damn lineup they have Tim Allen, who was not only a cocaine dealer but a cocaine user.
Yes, he
He's
was.
going into next year. Will be the final season of his show, but he's been on for 8 years,
That's right.
and so he's going out on his own terms. You also have Roseanne Barr. I don't even think I have to go into any detail about Roseanne Barr. Roseanne,
Right.
has some mental difficulties. She's also a staunch conservative. Very has made racist, disparaging racial comments about everybody, not just black people, Jewish people, everybody. She still had a show on, and they still brought her back for another show before finally having to fire her. And then they just have the family carry the show on, the rest of the clan, and call it a different name. She had a show. Meanwhile, this is what bothers me about it. Disney owns ABC,
They do.
and they have had problems with the creator of Blackish. What's his name? Barris. Barris.
Yes. Yes.
He's planning on moving on from ABC. And our girl, one of my
You're right.
favorites,
Shonda Rhimes.
Shonda Rhimes, had some
Yes.
problems with ABC. So
Yes.
that's what concerns me, folks. We got to start looking at these networks, and we got to start looking at what's happening. And I know that there are a lot of people that already are, but I don't think we really pay attention to the details in terms of sports and entertainment and the disparity between how African Americans and people of color are treated, and how women are treated versus their white male counterparts, etc. I think we've got to start looking at all of these things culturally, because right now America is in a place, and it's funny. I was looking at a list of qualifications for what it takes for a nation to be top 5 or top 10 in the world or ranked high in the world. Well, America has slipped from number 6 all the way down to the just about 20. And a lot of that has to do with a lot of the views are still very old. A lot of the views are still a lot of the national consciousness is still based on things from the 1800s.
Yeah.
It's still based on a lot of weaknesses that this country has had even since its inception, even
True.
since the
True.
the Constitution, where you had the three biggest guys that came up with the Constitution were all slave owners, and so I think you start going downhill from there. But there's some things that really need to change, and in our culture, I just thought that that was interesting. That Felicity Huffman, you would have thought, even Martha Stewart had to suffer somewhat. She suffered somewhat when she came out. They were like, we don't know if Martha's going to get back on. We don't know what's going to happen with her. Now she hooked up with Snoop and they have a good little thing going. But at the end of the day, even she suffered somewhat. Felicity
Right.
Huffman was a direct recipient of what I call white privilege. There's
Yes. Oh,
absolutely no other
absolutely.
way to call it. I don't care if
Absolutely.
people are upset with it. If you're upset, I understand. You can unfriend
Right.
me. Don't watch the show. I get it. I got you. But that is a real distinct example. And I don't know if anyone's even going to notice that. I don't know if anyone's ever going to bring that up. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that's just hard to believe.
Obviously, that had to been the situation because again, this woman did something that was a global scandal. This wasn't just a
Global.
domestic, this was a global scandal, and now she is back in the high life again. And again, that's the good white woman. Let's look at Martha Stewart. Martha
Yeah.
Stewart never left the highlight. That's why
Right.
people laugh when I say I want to be a white woman.
Right.
When it's all said and done, I want to be a white woman.
Man, because you chances are you're not going to lose. Chances are you're not going to you just won't lose. And we have to be so careful. I can't even remember. I had to think about the last African American actor or actress that did something that led to them having to lose their job or leave the business or do. I can't even think of anybody because we always have to be so careful. We really
Right.
don't have those types of things. We can't get jobs most of the time as it is. It's hard to maintain these jobs. If you look at what Gabrielle Union had to go through and some other people. So I couldn't even think of the last person, but I certainly had no problem rattling off Roseanne Barr and Tim Allen and Martha Stewart and Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's still rolling. Mel crazy as hell. Mel is out of his. That most of Hollywood really doesn't even remember that he disparaged the Jewish people so badly in one of his rants. And yet he's still working. He's still directing movies. James Woods is still working. All of these people are still working. And I just think about it. And I'm like, man, hey, that's what it is. Well, God bless America.
Right. God bless America. That's all I can say. All right. Well, for those of you all that are just joining us, welcome to the Monday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. Glad to be here with you guys on the last Monday of November 2020. This year has gone by really fast. We are just weeks away from the holiday season. Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, New Year is right around the corner. My co-host tonight is Mr. Kevin Ross, the executive director, creative genius behind Two Guard Media. He's a music executive as well, too. It's always a pleasure to have my brother here with me. And
pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And tonight we've just been talking about a plethora of things. Coming up in just a little bit, HIV and AIDS training specialist Gina Lamar will join us. She is the creator of Monday Night Mingle. I'm looking forward to talking to her tonight. Tomorrow is World AIDS Day. And Kevin, we're going to talk about sex for a little bit. It's been a long time since we've talked about sex,
It's been a long time since, well, never mind. I'm not going to.
Look. I was gonna say the same thing too. I was going right.
This whole COVID thing done had me like, hey.
I'm so proud of me. Right, I am so proud of me. I am right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the longest I've gone, and I don't know when. So this is a
Yeah,
beautiful thing.
I'm grateful for social distancing. If you brush up against me, we gonna have a problem. Okay, so let's not even have none of that popping off.
Oh Lord, Lord,
Shout out to Trader Joe's. They have sparkling water. It is winter sangria. I must recommend
oh
this to anyone that
really,
drinks art. This stuff is the greatest stuff. It tastes so good. It
really?
tastes so good. It is sparkling water. It is winter sangria, limited time only. Trader Joe's. Y'all
Oh
go out and get this.
wow,
It's
I'm
it's,
I,
it's popping.
I'm gonna have to try that. I am gonna have to try that. Kevin, what else you
Absolutely.
got coming up? Anything planned for the holiday season coming up?
Nothing necessarily. I'm just gonna kind of chill out. Art. I have a couple of really great clients right now. One lady in particular is fascinating. She is a gospel songwriter. She had a long career with AT and T, and then she decided to leave. And she's a gospel songwriter, and
Oh really?
she struggles with bipolar disorder, and
Oh,
she wants to be an advocate for bipolar disorder. Wonderful woman. Every time we talk, we have great conversations. She's upbeat, and she's obviously she's taking the meds, and she's going to counseling, and she's been able to navigate a career, and she's a fantastic songwriter. So she's one of my real projects right now. I want to tell
nice,
more stories with my company. I want to
nice.
start telling a lot of the stories. I have another client. She's an author. She's just written 2 books of poetry. I'll tell you about that at some other time.
Okay,
She's awesome, a mother of 3, and some of the poems are a little racy now, but they're
okay.
told from a female perspective, so it's a little bit different. Her name is Donicia White. She's awesome. And the big thing I'm working on right now, I'm just going to give you the exclusive on this. You get the exclusive announcement here on the show. We are planning a Coming to America 2 private viewing session.
Nice.
Uh, so that's going to be coming up. You guys can pay attention at Tugard, TWOGUARD Media, MEDIA on Instagram. Probably in January, we'll start putting out the details. I can't disclose anything at this point because of the situation with Netflix. But rest assured that Coming America 2 is in the can and is getting ready to move forward. And it's going to be a great, great movie. I can tell you guys that already.
Nice, nice, very nice. Well, that's what I want to hear, Kevin. Whatever it is, I definitely want to be a part of it.
Of
And
course.
you always do a great job. You do. Well, for
Wow.
those
Thank
of
you, man.
you, thank you, brother. For those of you that have not subscribed to the Real Chat Daddy Show, I ask that you please go over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free. It does not cost you anything. If you subscribe, it helps me to get advertisers, more people to watch the show. I really would appreciate you if you guys would do that for me. YouTube, The Real Chat Daddy Show. That's all you have to do. The Real Chat Daddy Show on YouTube. We're right there. You guys do what's necessary and be a part of my show each and every night. Facebook, The Real Chat Daddy Show. Please go to that face and like the show as well too. That face, that Facebook page. That's what I'm calling it. The face,
that
the
that
face,
baby that
that
baby face.
face, that
As
face. Yes.
soon as I get home.
Oh,
The
oh,
other
you can sing.
the other thing, guys, share. If you're watching now, share
Yeah.
the video. Social media isn't just about tagging or tuning in, and we
No, that's all
appreciate
they
your
do.
comments. We love it. We love your comments. We are glad that you are here. We are blessed that you are here. And make no mistake, we are grateful. However, you can help grow the platform by
Yeah,
sharing the
yeah.
page with your friends. Just share it with 5 people. You don't have to, we're not asking you to work for us. We're not asking you to go to work. Just share it with 5 people.
Just
All you got
hit
to do is hit
share.
the share button. That's all we're
Just hit
asking.
share.
That's all we're
Start a
asking, guys.
watch
Please
party.
do that.
Start
Yes,
a watch
please.
party. Easy and
Right.
simple. Very
Yep.
easy and simple. I really appreciate you guys so very much for
Absolutely.
doing that. Kevin, thank you for just saying that. It is
Yeah.
important that we continue to keep this type of dialogue in the forefront. The world is filled with just so many negative forms, as our current president would say, fake news, fake news, fake
Fake
news.
news.
We are
Fake
not fake
news. It's
news.
all fake news. It's fake
Right.
news.
Fake
You're
news.
the fake news media, and you're the fake
Fake
news
news.
media, and
Fake
that's the reason
news.
they won't cover it. You won't cover it because you're the fake news media. You're all the
No,
fake news media.
no, we're the real things. We're
We're
real
the real
everyday.
deal.
We're real everyday people who are bringing you the top news stories, things that you need to know, and we're doing this all in layman's terms. All right.
That's
Well,
right.
with that being said, coming up on the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show tomorrow is Give Back Tuesday. Giving Tuesday is the first Tuesday of December every year where we are to give back to non-for-profits as well as individuals who we need to show some love and support to. So joining me in the co-host chair tomorrow night is none other than Dion Nicole Smith. As you guys all know, she is the lady in charge of keeping things moving and informed over at IMD Guest House, Illinois Medical District Guest House. She'll be our co-host tomorrow night. Our good friends from the Salvation Army will be here. As you guys all know, I am a part of their Red Kettle campaign. You guys have been donating, and I really appreciate you guys so much for that. If you'd like to donate, please text the word Chat Daddy, ChatDaddy, to 51555, and you can help rescue Christmas. That would be really great if you guys could do that. Any amount of money from $5 to $500 would help the Salvation Army a great deal. And if you want to go online and make your donation, you can go salarmychicago.org/Chat Daddy. All the information is right there, and you can help me to rescue Christmas. What do you want for Christmas, Kevin?
You know what? To be honest, man, I'm pretty good. What I'd like to see, just kind of based on where we are now, you're working with the Salvation Army. For me, what I have seen be helpful. Food banks are overwhelmed this year, guys.
Right.
With the unemployment rate is at 6.9%, it's projected to be 10% by March or April. Families that executives that were making, $150,000, $200,000 a year are now in food lines, trying to figure out how they're going to feed their families. And people who were struggling, far less than that, are now trying to figure out where their next meal is going to come from. Please donate to your local food banks. You can donate at Food Bank Chicago. You can go online and Google, see what the food bank nearest you is. If you want to make some type of donation or contribution, that's really what I'd like to see. I have no shame in saying that I have been to a couple of giveaways where were giving away groceries earlier this summer when I wasn't working and the clients weren't really coming in as where I am now. I'm blessed now, but I wasn't blessed earlier this summer. I had some struggles, and so I would encourage people to donate to the food banks. If you can't give money, that's fine. We understand that. You got the Salvation Army. You got the wait. How do I point to you on this screen? Okay, I'm pointing. Wait. Oh, I'll do it. Wait, I'll do it this way.
Here.
Okay.
I'm over here.
No,
right,
you over here.
There.
Okay, wait.
Yeah,
He's over there.
You're over there.
So you got the Salvation Army this way. There we go. And the Chicago food banks. Let's get some of that stuff over to these Chicago food banks so that some families can have something to eat for Christmas.
Yes.
And toy drives as well. Shy Gives Back is an organization. A good friend of mine, Sandy Robinson. Shy Gives Back is doing a toy drive. You're going to see a lot of toy drives are going to be virtual this year. They're going to be drop off only. Let's do what we can. If you only, there have been times where all I had was $20, but I gave that $20. There are times where I had just a few cans of extra food from the grocery store. I gave those. You don't have to be a big giver. Just be a giver with a big heart. That's all. That's right. Really it.
That's right. All right. Very good. Well, my co-host this evening is none other than Mr. Kevin Ross, the creative force behind Two Guard Media Group. We're honored whenever Kevin is here with us. We hope you guys are enjoying tonight's show. And so, Kevin, I asked you, what did you want for Christmas? I know what I want for Christmas, Kevin.
Okay. What do you want for Christmas? I'll bite.
I want what we both said we both could use. Some damn good sex for Christmas.
Yeah, boy, let me tell you, Santa better stay away from here, man or woman or whatever. Reindeer. Stay out
Damn
of
good
here.
sex. Damn good sex for Christmas is
Stay out
what
of
I
here.
want. Is what I want. I just had a conversation with somebody recently that said, I miss human touch. I miss just the affection. And I said to the person, I said, listen, it's not that people have not been calling me, but
Right,
why
me
in
either.
the hell,
Me
why in
either.
the hell would I want to have anybody over in my space? And we in the middle of COVID, and we wasn't like that before COVID. It was strictly a booty call. That's all it was. So why would I even change that? So to help us through this dynamic of what we should do, what we should and should not be doing, she is my auntie Gina, which I share her with the world. She's an HIV and AIDS training specialist. This woman talks about sex for a living. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Gina Lamar, better known as Auntie Gina. Hello, darling.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to do my own stuff, right?
Hi, Auntie Gina. Hey.
I love it. You are killing me. You are killing me. I love the exclusive, Kevin. We love exclusives.
Yes.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. I have some partners that are some brand partners that'll be coming in. They're probably not going to be happy that I said it, but Art's my guy. That's my guy. So I had to announce it here first.
This is the place to announce it. This really is. He really can keep a secret.
No. I love it. I love it. So listen, Auntie Gina, it's been a while. You look amazing. You are coiffed and fabulous. And wait, is there a ring?
Plucking.
I know. Is there a ring on your finger, Auntie?
Absolutely not.
Okay, all right.
That was gonna be. I'm getting ready to take these glasses off. That was my next question. Hey, sister. How you doing?
Right.
But now, Auntie, you heard the conversation before you came on. Both of us.
I did. What you all want for Christmas?
We are grown men. We both come from two different walks of life, but we are grown men.
But you both want the same thing.
Yes, we both want a very good
Christmas
gift. Yes, we want sex for Christmas. What should we be doing, Auntie?
Well. Yeah, right. As if I knew that. I would be so rich, I really wouldn't be able to be on this show. If I knew how to get for Christmas, first of all, I'd get myself some sex. Next, I would get sex. I would you get sex, and then I'd be rich. Although I guess there are some people who are doing that and getting rich from it. So that's a different show on a different night.
That's a whole different conversation.
That's a whole different conversation. I definitely say stay tuned into Chat Daddy, because while you're talking smack, paths do cross on this show regularly.
Right? They do.
And people are like, who was that? And he's like, did you listen to the interview? Then you can find out who she was or who he was.
Right.
Gina, I already looked at your profile on Facebook. That's fine.
Did you?
Continue.
Ooh.
You may continue.
Oh, I know, right? I didn't embarrass myself, did I?
No, you're good.
Wait till you see. You can't see it now, Chad Daddy, because I literally just did it. Yeah, I was going to do my interview with, you said always have something nice. And I was going to do my interview with something else in my hand.
Really?
Well, that doesn't look good. That didn't turn out very well. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and just get me a nice little wine glass.
Auntie, what was you going to bring for us? What was you going to bring for us, Auntie? I get so excited.
I tagged you. It's on my Facebook Live.
Okay.
I think I put, not live on the what's the quick thing that comes daily and leaves.
Story. Facebook story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Story.
Gotcha.
I put it on there. I just had some little toy to play with while we're talking.
Oh my!
And then thought, that didn't work out very well. That wasn't going to be very ladylike. And I'm a fucking lady. I mean, a lady. So,
Auntie, I do have a question. Why are men so intimidated by toys? Certain men.
Well,
why are they so intimidated?
We have these conversations all the time, and I don't think that men are intimidated by toys based on how you present them, right? You can't, just bust out with something, well, this isn't even that big, right? There you go. Something this big.
No.
And say, oh, let's play, right? Because he's like,
No.
what the heck is that? Right? You can't just
Right.
bust out like that. You have to ease toys into the conversation. You have to ease them into the bedroom. You have to just let them be there sometime, right? Or at least have the conversation. Because, same with women. You can't just come bringing stuff up without us knowing about it, right? Stuff can't happen without at least a little of a warning. So, all partners need to know about it at least. But all men aren't intimidated once you do it right. If you introduce it right, I don't think they're all intimidated. I think some are like, hey, let's see you do that again. But there are some who are, but I think it's all based on delivery. But isn't that everything in relationships?
Yes.
Like me asking you to take out the garbage, it's just the way I asked you to take out the garbage. Honey, would you grab that garbage on your way out the door versus you've been home all damn day. Why you ain't take the garbage out?
Right. Or, honey, why don't you take out the garbage and then I'm gonna play with this little toy until you get back. There's a whole little transition that happens with the taking out of the garbage, that whole thing. So.
Absolutely. Well, based on if you start playing with it, they may not they'll be like, girl, I'll take that garbage out later.
Right, exactly. They don't pick it up until Tuesday. Tuesday morning. They don't pick it up till Tuesday morning.
You got it. They don't even pick up this week. They don't even pick up till Friday. Why am I leaving this bedroom until then? You all are absolutely. I did not mean to walk in on all of this madness, right?
That's all right. That's what we do.
That's all right. You're here now.
Auntie Gina.
I am.
As of March of this year, we found out about COVID-19. Every time any platform I've been on, you've come on and talked to us about sex, HIV and AIDS, sexually transmitted diseases. Now, Auntie Gina, we are worried about people getting or having COVID. You're trying to get you some yum, but now you wondering if you're going to end up on a ventilator after you get you some yum. What should we do with this?
You do know people are still getting the yum, right? Yeah.
Or people are still ending up on the ventilator. Or some end up on the ventilator anyway.
You got it. Oh, I like it, Rakita. Ain't nothing like the real thing. But let me tell you this. One of the first clinics, think about when we shut everything down back in March. One of the first clinics we had to open back up was the STI clinic. Folks were coming in, they started hitting that ER burning and hitting that ER with symptoms, right? And, they weren't letting you in the emergency rooms at all because they were just, swamped with COVID cases, right? So one of the first outpatient clinics that opened back up were the STI clinics. Even physicians were seeing you via Zoom, right? So they were doing teleconference. They're still doing teleconferences. But what we recognized at the hospital is we have to open up that STI clinic. People still need it. They need their meds, they need condoms, and they're burning. And so there was going to be a spread or a little mini pandemic or epidemic of STIs if we didn't address that. So that was one of the first clinics that opened back up. STI clinics, they're in full functioning. You have to just mask up and go in there and still get tested. So that's one of the things we're having. We also have, as we're talking about COVID, and how it's spread. People who, HIV and STIs are always spread via sexual contact, right? So people feel differently about that. You have to at least have sex with me to contract those things. Unfortunately, with COVID, you just have to be in my presence and you could end up very sick and on the ventilator, right? So that's a very different kind of conversation. But for people who are trying to get to the yum, is that what you call it? The yum, people are trying to have sex.
The yum.
They could care less about it. I mean, people are meeting on dating apps. They're getting together because, some people are being safe and saying, I'm staying in the house. We're not doing it. But don't you worry. Somebody else is saying, well, I'm tired of staying in the house. Come on over here. You clean, I'm clean. I love that line, right? That's the same thing we did. You clean, I'm clean. Like, did you bathe or are you STI free? That's what I do.
Right.
So if anyone is ever, not you two ever, but if you ever use dating apps, they ask things like DDF, are you disease and drug free, right? Like when you're trying to pick up, if you, DTF down to fuck, can I say that on the show?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just said it 3 times. Can I say that on the show? But now we have, I love it, yum yum. I know Leslie would say yum yum because she's such a lady. She's such a fucking lady.
Yes.
But anyway,
She sound like that too. Yum
but
yum.
now one of the new acronyms is CF. Are you COVID free, right? And you're COVID free just as much as you're STI free. You're only as good as your last negative contact.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If you got
the other issue with COVID is that you can have a negative test, but in 2 days you can test positive.
You got it.
It's still moving. It's still changing. We don't have a control of this. We don't have a grasp of it yet. So there's no guarantee that if you test negative now, that you won't test positive literally the next day. It can happen. There have been some cases of that.
Same thing I warn people about. People coming over to meet you and pulling out. They're folded up.
Their test. Right. That test.
From when? Right?
Right.
So you haven't had any sexual contact since this test in March of 2020, right? So yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately, at some point you're going to have to use some trust, and a lot of people are, because a lot of people are still passing COVID, so we know that they're not masking up. So I think one of the best memes on the Monday Night Mingle page is the condom saying to the mask, "They won't wear you either, huh?" Like we've been trying to get them to wear me for years, and they won't wear.
No, that's funny. Now that is good. That's funny.
That's a hot mess. That's a hot mess. That's a hot mess.
Yeah, that's it.
That's funny.
That's why, as of tomorrow, finally we can get to the reason why I'm on the show. No, I'm kidding. As of 30 years of us commemorating World AIDS Day. So World AIDS Day is December 1st. It's always December 1st. I'm always on Chat Daddy. Before I used to be on December 1st. And a couple of years ago, he said, "Hey, Gina, why don't you come on the day before so you can tell us where to go on December 1st?
Right. That's right. That's how we do that.
He totally corrected me on that one. I was like, I need to be on December 1st. And then he's like, why don't you come on before so we can talk about where
on the day before. Yes.
Pre-promotion. You got to do pre-promotion.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's like foreplay. It's like foreplay.
Yes, that's what I just said.
That's right.
It's like foreplay.
That's right.
It's to get you stimulated so you go get tested tomorrow so that if you ever have sex again, you'll know your status.
Because we will have sex again. Let's all touch and agree right now. We will have sex again.
Ooh,
that's
please.
Right. There you go.
Amen. 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 Amen.
We have all agreed.
Yeah.
We will. Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Yes. But no, tomorrow is one of the reasons World AIDS Day is such a big deal is because it is the first global health day. It is the first day that all across the globe that we've decided to commemorate and acknowledge and think about people who have passed from the virus, people who are still hanging in there, people who are who need to be tested, right? People who may very well be contracting HIV and AIDS, right? So that's tomorrow. That's what makes World AIDS Day such a big deal. It's 12/1 and it's a global thing. So I don't care where you are in the world, just like, because Christmas is celebrated by Christian holidays pretty much everywhere, but kind of like New Year's Day, things like that are based on, where you are, but it's the first global health day. So we'll be talking about, I think the theme this year is resilience. And with COVID, resilience is going to have to be the thing because we have so many people who are testing positive and still coming through COVID. Let's be very clear. While we're talking about almost 1 million deaths, excuse me, we're also talking about 3 million survivors, right?
Right.
Triple times that the number of people who are going to survive COVID. But because we're always talking about sex with it, everybody wants to know, is it sexually transmitted? And you say, based on how you consider sexually transmitted, if we get together and tongue kiss, well, first of all, if we get together and in the same room more than 15 minutes, is that transmitted there? But what we did find, there was a study that found back in May, excuse me, some postmortem and some men who were on ventilators, that there was some COVID found in semen. So we haven't found it in vaginal fluids yet. We haven't found it in vaginal fluids, but we did find it. And there was some semen, some COVID traces of COVID found in semen for men who had either passed and or were on ventilators. Yeah, so that was, I think it's like out of the 50 men, maybe 38 of them had COVID. The other 12, unfortunately, we couldn't get an ejaculation out of them. Okay, that's such a bad joke, but it's so true. Like, it's such a bad joke, but it's so true. Like, they were either on ventilators or they had passed, and we weren't able to find out.
Well, the next time you need something like that, call me. You ain't gonna have no issues over here, sister.
Damn, that's what they all say. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Honey, we all going to hell.
I don't know who they all are. I don't know who they all are. All I can do is speak for. All I can do is speak for this guy right here. The guy on this ID. That's the only person I can speak for.
Okay, let me just say, all I saw was him say, "Oh, I can speak for this guy." That's all. I was like, "Whoa, what is it? Look, what are you doing here? What are you about to do?"
Now, Gina, I'm like Martin, like Gina. I just reached down for the wallet, Gina. Come on, Gina.
I just saw you reaching down, and I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute."
I can't do that on Chat Daddy show. We ain't got to that point yet. This is still some family.
That's the late night show. That's the late.
That's the after hours. That's the second one we're gonna do, the after hours. So Gina, I had a question. I had a couple of questions. I remember, and this is actually being serious now. When I was younger and AIDS was just starting to come on the scene, I remember being so heavily impacted by Magic Johnson's announcement and how it saddened me so greatly, and what a shock it was. I'm a big basketball fan, and I played basketball, and that was just so devastating. But it moved a lot of our culture towards more understanding. And then the other thing that was so impactful for me was the movie Philadelphia with Tom Hanks and Denzel. And I think those two cultural occurrences kind of brought AIDS and HIV to the mainstream and kind of started to shine a little light on it. So I guess my question would be, I read certain things. Where are we today in terms of treatments? And where are we today in terms of advancing the treatment and care of it? And we've talked a lot about preventative measures, and that's always very prevalent when you watch, you see that. But where are we in terms of treatment of that? I've heard that there are now cocktails. It's a lot more treatable, certain things. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Absolutely. So HIV, I tell people all the time, like with HIV, if I test you and you test positive, I will tell you, don't forget to pay your taxes, right? Because once I test you, you're positive, I get you into treatment immediately. We get you on therapy, we get you on HAART. And once you start taking your medications, you may have some effects, but for the most part, you will become virologically suppressed, almost impossible for you to pass the virus. We consider it impassable. But again, that's always with human taking, the human taking it, right? You have to take it regularly so that you stay virologically suppressed. And as long as you're suppressed, you can't even pass the virus. Now, we're so far ahead with it that if you're taking your medication and you use a condom in the state of Illinois, you don't even have to share your HIV status. You simply say, I used a condom and I don't have to tell you if I'm HIV positive, right? That's in the state of Illinois. Don't try that other places, because other places may very well still be very serious about criminalization of people with HIV. And we still have a long way to go, even in Illinois, because we have the condom usage, but then we also have the he said, she said, right? So as far as treatment goes, not only can we keep you once you're positive, we now have PrEP, the pre-exposure prophylaxis. I know you've heard of Truvada and Descovy. Now, Descovy was only tested in men, not necessarily in women, or cis women. Let's be very clear: women who are born as women, who are born a woman, or assigned female at birth is the correct way to say it. But what I know for sure is that we have PrEP now, and you can take it intermittently or just like a birth control pill. As long as you're having unprotected sex, you get on the pill. Your love life gets, as boring as mine, you can get off the pill, right? And you can start taking it again when you're having sex. The same thing with PrEP. You don't have to continuously take it. We do know that it works. It's active in 7 days rectally and 21 days vaginally. I think they're trying to say we're down to 15 days. But we have to make sure that we know when it becomes active. So you start taking PrEP, we're pretty sure you're not going to contract the virus. That gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis, we ain't got nothing for that yet. You're still going to have to use a condom for that. You're still going to have to use
Auntie,
a condom. Yes.
Them last 3 heifers you brought up,
Woo,
chlamydia, syphilis, and gonorrhea. Them heifers. How bad are them heifers in this day and age? Are them heifers out here more than ever?
Baby, them heifers are almost making COVID look like a punk. And we know COVID is running hot, right? We still have more chlamydia cases to date in the city of Chicago than we have new cases of HIV, gonorrhea, and syphilis. That chlamydia is running rapid. And I think, Kevin, you said something about the mayor in, was it San Francisco or LA?
The Los Angeles, the governor.
The governor of California.
Gavin Newsom.
Yes, the governor of California talking about 4 to 6 weeks, just getting, taking everybody off. We could probably, give them, make them stay home with pay. I say that about HIV. If you would just give me 30 solid days, I really could probably do it in 2 weeks, but on the safe side, say 3 weeks to 3 to 4 weeks, that if you just, nobody have any unprotected sex, everybody get treated for chlamydia, gonorrhea. We can knock it out. But
absolutely.
Right now, about 30,000 cases in the city of Chicago of chlamydia alone. And so now we have spots. And whenever I'm talking to youth, because those numbers are still highest in people under 29, finally, 53, I done got to a half-ass safe passage. Now I might get, little gout, little cataracts, little arthritis, but I think I'm in the clear with chlamydia. And when you when you get hold of some chlamydia, you really are like, what 19-year-old has your old ass been with? Because
absolutely.
we know those numbers are safer in there. But yeah, if we could just get 2 good weeks to treat everybody, we could probably get rid of that too. Yeah. So those other 3, baby, they ain't going nowhere.
So now, Auntie Gina, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Art. So to your point, part of the difficulty and why we're struggling so much, here we are 9 months later, and we are behind everyone else in terms of this pandemic, is because our culture and our Western
Americans, or we as in blacks?
We as in Americans overall. Americans overall. So our culturally, we are so undisciplined and so spoiled that the thought of limitation or isolation is synonymous with freedom or
the
violation thereof.
You say spoiled, entitled.
Entitled.
That is so arrogant. That's arrogance.
Yeah, it's arrogance and it's entitlement.
Wear a mask, and I don't care if it's your grandmother.
Right, and so because of that, we can't
words when it's really arrogance and entitlement.
And entitlement, exactly, which is an American pastime, by the way. And it's the reason that we can't get it's the reason we can't get control of anything, because it requires that everybody sacrifice. And so we don't have that. So it would be great if we were able to do that. And by the way, thank you for your statistics. That was very interesting. I heard, or I read somewhere, that younger people are having less sex now. That they are having less sex than they have over the last few years, and this is before COVID, by the way. That they're actually they're less interested in just having sex the way it used to be when you would talk about anyone from 16 to 22. Now I just read somewhere that they're having less sex. Do you think that's true, or what? How do you feel about that?
I think that's regional, and I think that's demographics, right? Based on what you have going on with you. The reality is, when you're in certain areas and all you have is access to sex as your pastime, you don't have a basketball court, a hockey field. You don't have all of these activities that Nowadays we're putting our kids into activities from the age of 5 all the way through. They have to stay active in something. So I think that that's still regional and still based on different places. While you do have lower pregnancies, right? You have
right. That's what I read. I'm sorry. That's
what
I
have
read.
lower pregnancies. I don't know that we're having less sex. So okay, I didn't know the study you're talking about. We definitely have lower pregnancies because people they have access to birth control. At the age of 12, you can get access to birth control, an abortion, condoms, and now PrEP in the state of Illinois. You can get access to PrEP. So if you're a 12-year-old without parental consent, like you can walk into any publicly funded clinic, any Planned Parenthood, any one of the county clinics, and tell them you want PrEP, tell them you want birth control, and you do not need a parental consent. And so that's one of the reasons you now can get on birth control, get the shot, or whatever the case may be. That's one of the reasons that the pregnancy numbers are lower. And even for people who are getting pregnant, they are just choosing not to have babies like they did in the past, right? I think those types of things are happening, and I'm gonna need you to make AIDS all capital. Oh, I'm sorry, I just caught that.
Oh, that's right, baby. You're right. You right, Auntie.
You're a stickler. You're a stickler.
You right, Auntie. My bad, Auntie.
But no,
look, so I'm a one-man operation. Hold on, Auntie. You right. Go ahead.
I know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said it like that. But no,
you pay too damn much attention, Auntie.
Yeah, I know, and that's without my glasses on. But no, so Kevin, yeah, those we are seeing those types of things. But I tell people all the time, I can work on flu shots in flu shots in Florida, the Bolivia virus in Bolivia, now the coronavirus in Corona, California. But y'all keep me with a job talking about sex right here on the Chat Daddy Show, because I got 30,000 cases of chlamydia right now, and those are the last numbers that we could count. We haven't counted this year's numbers. We haven't counted all of the corona babies. Think about the quarantine babies that are going to be coming.
Oh, no question. No question.
Have you not seen the memes? Her name is Quarantine and Corona. Or I like the twins do January of 2021, right? Twins, Quarantine and Corona or something, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, but we have all of those things that are going to be happening too. But no, I really do appreciate being able to come on and talk about it. And one of the reasons that I talk about when, my tagline is I talk about sex for a living is because it continues to be the #1 mode of transmission for HIV. Even IV drug users, somebody who's trying to get a heroin fix has figured out, I can get me some needles from Walgreens. I can get to wash my works, just get me some bleach. And when I'm done getting high, wash my works off, right? We figured out perinatal transmission, no more vertical transmission, mom to baby. We know how to stop the spread there. I just keep a job talking about sex because everybody wants it raw. Baby, I like it raw. See, this is where you're a one-man show, but you're supposed to come in with, what's it called? Oh, yeah, Quarantina. Oh!
Yes, Quarantina. And Covita.
Covita. Yes. That's
Quarantina
exactly
and Covita, honey.
That's exactly it, Leslie.
them babies, Quarantina and Covita. Yes. So I do have a question about Descovy and PrEP. So you said it does not have to be taken every day, Auntie?
It does when you're using it, right? But and I always like to say this, and you brought up Magic, so I always like to use Magic because he gave us himself as a target, right?
Right.
Magic and Cookie are still together. Cookie needs to take PrEP because she is still identified as negative, right? Cookie and Magic break up. She is now having sex with someone who is confirmed negative. She's confirmed negative. She can stop taking PrEP. She and Magic get back together. She like, what am I doing? We've been together 35 years. Let me go head back to my husband. She can start taking PrEP again. So when I say intermittently, you can take it and get off of it. And you can use it like the morning after pill. So, if I know we've all touched and agreed on sex. So if it actually comes to us for Christmas, but we weren't prepared and we don't have any condoms and we don't have anything else, right? We can now take PrEP the morning after, the same way we take the Plan B pill, the morning after pill for women. You can take PrEP, and men and women can take PrEP the next morning. have to do a loading dose within 72 hours, but with PrEP, you have to take it for the next 28 days. But you get a loading dose within 72 hours of the exposure. So if we get lucky, or we've already touched and agreed. So when we get lucky,
right,
we're going to wrap it up. But in case we don't, we can take PrEP the very next morning and then take it for the next 20 days. And we are pretty much guaranteed we do not have an exposure to HIV.
Okay. Because
that's amazing.
I was worried. I had run out of my little male birth control pills, as they say, and I was like, "Oh, I ran out." But it is not like I'm doing anything. So okay,
you got it. You got it. So you're absolutely right. So you're good there. And one of the things I like.
No, I'm gonna tell you what my doctor said. He saw me. You know, first it was all of these teleconference meetings, and then when I finally got to the doctor's office, he was like, "Yeah, your hot ass need to be on something," and I was like,
"Good." Even though it's judgmental as hell, and he shouldn't have said it that way, at least he's talking about it.
I thought it was complimentary.
He didn't bring it up, and I was just
look, I loved it when he said that. He was like, "You look good, Art Sims. I know your hot ass out here catching." I was like, "Oh, thanks. I appreciate you, Doc."
Yeah. We'll work on his bedside manner later. As long
That's
as
all right. I loved it. I did. I was like, oh well, all right. Now at least a doctor catching it. All right, amen.
You got it.
That's funny.
I saw my provider and he didn't bring it up at all. And so then when I brought it up, it's kind of like, oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Then he wanted to have a conversation about it, but I'm just like, just because I'm 53 don't mean I can't pull them.
Right.
So yeah, we just have to
absolutely. But it's funny how our doctors will, unless it's usually a gynecologist, is a lot more open when women come in and talk about sex, because pregnancy is generally, I think, connected to that.
The number one.
Yeah, when I spoke to my doctor, she was shocked because I asked her about Cialis. And it's not like, first, let's get something clear. It's not like I need it, okay?
Hey,
let's be transparent.
Here, what did I tell you? Your secret is safe with me and Art.
Right. Now,
everybody watching this show.
All I'm trying to do is, I can already shoot the 3-pointer. I'm just trying to get some more arc on my shot, if necessary. So I had spoken to her about it.
If that's your pickup line, I'm just saying, you gonna mess around and work. No.
It ain't like, it ain't like a brother can't dribble, you dig? I'm just trying to get a little more footwork in there.
Look, Art, why are you fanning yourself, Art? Art, you done got him hot bothered, right? You got it. Look, as long as you hit, but you gotta make it to the end of the game. And guess what?
Right.
And guess what? Ain't nobody trying to do no 4 quarters no more. No way. Should we try to get done, go to sleep, and get done before my show comes on? Ain't nobody trying to
all that X videos, all them X videos,
man,
hours and 2 hours. Hey man, look here. I ain't even trying to play like that.
Look, anybody got time?
Y'all speak for yourselves now. I again. I walked into the doctor and he said, "Yeah, your little hot ass need to be on something." So that's
good. At least he's saying it, and that's what we want. We want providers talking about it, because we find out that and not just OBGYNs. All providers are sometimes afraid to talk about it. When I train physicians on HIV as well, and I know people are like, physicians don't need to be trained, but through the Midwest AIDS Training and Education Center, we do find that physicians and providers, period, not just physicians, but providers, need to be updated. And one of the things I say when I walk in is, hey, can you say the word sex? And some say sex and others say yes. And I'm like, see, so one of the things that we, hey, somebody said, hey, Hottie, I'm just saying me. I mean, Ramona, you really could have been talking to Kevin or Art, but I'm going to take it for me. But one of the things that, we say is that you've treated my gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis 3 times, but you haven't talked to me. You haven't given me an HIV test, because I'm a middle-aged Caucasian woman from rural Illinois. And if I test positive and have a low viral load, have a high viral load and a low CD4 count and end up with an AIDS diagnosis, he or she rightfully should be able to sue you, because you've been trained, and routine HIV testing should be part of the program now. It should be just like your blood pressure. It should be part of your vitals. You know how they don't take your height and weight? They will not see you, or I don't care what happens. Every time you come to the doctor, they still take your height and weight.
Right.
That's because insurance companies are not going to pay the bill unless they take your height and weight.
Got it. Okay, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense.
I was just here last week. I ain't gained no more weight. Height and weight has to be taken at every single visit. And that's just so that we can pay the insurance companies will pay, because they're not going to pay if they find out I was 100 pounds this week. And then see, I gave myself 100 pounds. Okay, I should give myself at least 150.
Right.
I want to be that thin again. But I was 150, I was 190 yesterday. And now next week I'm 124. I haven't lost that much weight, or I haven't gained that much weight. It's probably somebody else using my insurance. So insurance companies started that a long time ago to watch the trend of your and patterns of health.
Interesting.
Okay. Wow, that's very interesting.
Little healthcare tidbit.
Wow.
Look, all I know is for me at this point, look, we don't even have to really go on a date. We can just act like we're at Arnie's and I'm a customer, and you can just pretend, and I'll just act like we're at Arnie's again, because I'll take anything at this point. I'll take anything.
Do you see this ashy elbow about to come?
All you got to do is dance around. Come on, man. I'll take whatever. Come on. This started in February.
You're not ready for this flash in a hot look. In a turtleneck. You ready? Hey.
Go on, Auntie Gina. Go on what you working
That's what I'm talking about. I'll throw the whole wallet. Here's the whole wallet.
My God.
No, unfortunately, my striptease act will turn into one of the Wayans videos. You throw the whole wallet and they'll hit me upside the head. Like, I won't catch the cash and catch all the stuff with it. Oh, no, she didn't say Arnie's is closed.
I know, poor Arnie's. I love Arnie's title hour.
Wait. Here's the funny. She actually, that was part of the skit, is the fact that Arnie's is closed, but I had to reference some club that everybody knew.
Everybody know Arnie's, baby. Baby, everybody. Look, if they don't know Arnie's, they worked at Arnie's. Trust and believe.
Let me tell you my Arnie's joke. Hilarious. I was like, I've never been to a strip club. Some guy's dating. I've never been to a strip club. Take me to the strip club. So he says, okay, I'm going to take you to the strip club. I haven't been here. I've never been here either. He takes me to Arnie's. It's 1,000 people outside. We pull straight up in park. We get out, we walk past all the people, and I go, sure, you've never been? He said, I've never been here before. My first time coming too. So we walk past all the people. We get to the door. They say, yo, what's up, big man? Like, don't check him or anything. We just go right on in. I'm going, sure, you've never been here before? I've never been here before either, right? So I was like, cracking up laughing. He's like, you want to go to the strip club? Oh, that's easy. So I'm like, I still to this day don't know, like, was he just like such a regular that we walked past the line? But then when I got in and saw what was going on behind the fence, I was like, well, can I get them some condoms? Can I just bring some? He was like, oh, hell no, you can't come here trying to save the hoes. You got to just come here and watch the show and quit trying to save everybody. I said, well, can I at least just give them a little something? Yeah, Arnie should be closed. It was just ratchet good.
Arnie's. I spent so much money. I used to spend so much money out at Arnie's. It was a damn shame. Because I'm from California originally, and before I moved to the Midwest, I'd never been to a strip club ever. I'd never been, so I didn't know. So I moved here. One of my good friends, Dwayne Holmes, God rest his soul, one of my mentors, was a street promotion guy. So I'm promoting music, and I'm working for a record label. He says, hey, you need to be taking your music to clubs and whatnot. You need to take them to, different places, not just the radio station. So he's the one that got me into going to clubs and stuff. And so he said, strip clubs,
that does make sense.
Yeah, he said strip clubs will play your music.
And we'll call the radio station and go play that last night.
Right. Exactly. So he said that, strip clubs will play your music and they'll play it right then. And so I got to be kind of a regular out at Arnie's. Unfortunately, it got to be I started feeling a little too happy and having a little too much fun being a country boy from California. And that was the end of it for me. Boy, I was spending way too much money out at Arnie's. I hate to say this, but I'm glad Arnie's burned down. That's a public service for some of us.
Damn shame. That's a
That's
damn
pretty
shame.
good. That's pretty,
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
I love it. See, that's why I want to be the strip club owner. I want to own the strip club. That is
So has
my dream.
anybody watched P Valley?
Yes.
I
Are
was
you
about to
kidding
bring
me?
that up. I
I love
haven't
P
seen it yet.
Valley.
I have not
love
watched
I
it yet.
watched it and I binge watched it and was like, love this. I love
I love
everything about it. I
I
love
love it.
everything
I
about
love
it.
it.
Yeah.
I do.
I have it starred on my to watch list. And shout out to my guy Morocco Omari, who's from Chicago, and he's
Yes.
on the show.
Oh,
And
good.
I
Yeah.
saw that Morocco's on the show, so I said, you know what? Let me check this out. So it is on my watch list, on my to do list.
Right. Yes.
That'll work.
All right. Well, Auntie Gina, please tell us where we need to go, what we need to do, any websites, all that great stuff for tomorrow, and then we're going to close out.
Absolutely. So you can always do MondayNightMingle.com, but I want you all to hit that Facebook page, like the Facebook page. I'll be on there tomorrow again live. It's World AIDS Day again, commemorating the first global health holiday and day of commemoration. So it talks about people who are there. Also, you can get tested for COVID and HIV and gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis tomorrow at Project Vita. So this 2659 South Ketville. It's called Project Vita. You can get all three. You can get tested for all three tomorrow between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. And that's called Project Vita. So definitely that's one of the places I always tell people, if you are looking, if you're internet dating, you're looking for something, go somewhere. It's a one-stop shop where you can get tested for everything. Then once you get tested, get your results back, and then you can move forward. So please like the Monday Night Mingle page on Facebook and on Instagram. Instagram is more so, it's the same as Facebook. Facebook has far more interactions and stuff, so like that page and tune in tomorrow. I think tomorrow I'm going to be on intellectualradio.com in the morning from 11 to 12. Again, just talking about World AIDS Day. And it's always fun to be here for Chat Daddy. This is really what we do. He calls me auntie. Oh, let me just announce this right quick, since you talk about exclusives.
Yes.
Hello. I left the county back in June. I started my own agency. It's called Nephews. Okay. And, if people are like, what do you mean Nephews? Why is it called Nephews? It's called Nephews because everyone calls me Auntie Gina. So even in the community, they're like, oh, that's Auntie, right? And then I have all nephews, right? So I didn't have any nieces. When you hear me say niece, I'm talking about my cousin's daughter or one of my girlfriend's daughters. My sisters and brothers had all boys. So 18 boys, and then they start having girls, right? So that's the company's Nephews. You can go to nephews.com. Again, it's still just, we're still getting it straight for HIV testing, but you can always contact me at Nephews to get HIV testing. And you can go to Nephews, NEFUSC, or MondayNightMingle.com, and I will tell you where to get your status updated.
All right.
All right. What would you like to say to our guests, Mr. Kevin, before we have to run, brother?
You can catch me on IG at KRoss Chicago. That is the personal page. I would much more prefer, trying to get that out, that you guys go to at Tugard, at TWOGUARD Media. That is the company page on Instagram. And that is the only page I will be putting details on the upcoming Coming to America 2 party. I also have some great content that I put on the marketing page, as well as some marketing and branding tips. So that's at Tugard, TWOGUARD Media on Instagram. And my community page on Facebook is the Tugard Group, TWOGUARD Group. And not too many people chose the name Tugard for their company, so not too much of that should pop up if you hit the search button. And that's all I got to say, except that I'm grateful to be on with you two folks today. It's been a blast.
Great show.
Yay. It was an outstanding show. It was great. Gina Lamar, better known as Auntie Gina, HIV and AIDS training specialist. Tomorrow is World AIDS Day, December 1st, you guys.
Absolutely.
We are almost at the end of 2020. 2020 has been a year like no other.
Happy birthday, Bev. It's one of my girls' birthdays tomorrow. Happy birthday, Bev and Tymel.
Yay!
All right.
Very good. 2 birthdays. My co-host tonight has been my brother and good friend, the one and only Mr. Kevin Ross. Remember, all we want for Christmas, you guys, is sex. No, I wouldn't mind a gift card or 2 or some cologne, but yeah, that's pretty much.
Right.
Otherwise, you know, and we talking about some
like world peace.
COVID-free and STD-free sex. How about that?
Yes, baby. Yes.
Is that too much to ask for? Is that too much to ask for?
DDCF, right. You got to be drug, disease, and COVID free.
Got to be what again? Say it again, Auntie Gina. How do we say
DDCF.
DDCF.
Drug, disease, and COVID free.
DDCF. Okay, I'm finna put that across the screen. You need to be DC.
DDCF, that's right.
DDCF, there it is. All caps. Gina, he did all caps for you.
All caps. Because that's what we
disease, drug, COVID free.
All right. Well, let me get the last comments coming in tonight. Everybody has enjoyed tonight's show. They thought it was just great. You both did an outstanding job. You really, really did. Auntie Gina, I love you so much. Kevin Ross, stay out of trouble, my friend. I'll talk to you midweek. Auntie Gina, do well tomorrow. Tomorrow's your big day.
Thank you.
Right.
I know.
Absolutely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Oh, wait, here, she done put it up here for everybody to know what it means too.
Drug disease free.
That's right. Amen. That's
K. Renee.
That's K. Renee.
No, K. Renee.
We love K. Renee. We do. She is just amazing. We are. All right. Well, on behalf of Gina Lamar, Auntie Gina, and my co-host, Mr. Kevin Ross, we want to say good night to everyone. Please go over to YouTube and subscribe to The Real Chat Daddy Show. It's easy. It's free. Does not cost you anything. Go over there, like the show. Facebook as well, too. I'll be back tomorrow night for Give Back Tuesday, Giving Tuesday. We have quite a few people stopping by tomorrow night, so we can talk about giving back to others. God bless. Talk to you guys. Thank you, Auntie Gina. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Jack.
Peace.
All right. We're out of here. Good night.